I'm Dr. John Dabach, and I answer your questions about relationships. Let's jump into the email. Dear John, I caught my partner deleting messages, and when I confronted her, she said it was because she knew I'd misinterpret things. She swears nothing is happening, but now I feel like I'm constantly trying to read between the lines. How do you trust someone who admits they're hiding things, even if they say it's harmless? Eric in San Diego, California. Eric, I'm going to give this to you straight because you're already starting to feel the psychological toll of this. And if you don't get clear, you're going to spiral. You don't trust someone who is actively hiding things from you. The truth is you just can't. That's not a thing. Trust is not built on explanations. It's built on transparency. Transparency, and specifically the other part of it is consistency. Anybody can be transparent for a second. Can you do it consistently? Right now, what you have is the opposite of that. You have concealment paired with justification. And that makes it sound reasonable, and that combination is incredibly destabilizing. Let's break down what she actually said, because this is where the manipulation gets subtle. I deleted the messages because you would misinterpret them, right? That's what she said. Now, that sounds like she's trying to protect you or protect the relationship, but what she's really doing is controlling the narrative. She's deciding what you get to see and how you're allowed to interpret it. That is not protection. That's management. And once one person starts managing reality in a relationship, the other person starts losing their footing. That's exactly what you're describing when you say you feel like you're constantly trying to read between the lines. That's your brain trying to fill in gaps that shouldn't exist in the first place. Now, let's be fair for a second, because I don't want you to miss something important. There are situations where someone hides things because they genuinely believe their partner will overreact. Maybe they'll become jealous or escalate things unnecessarily. That does happen. But even in those cases, hiding is still the wrong move, because it trades a potential conflict for a guaranteed erosion of trust. It might feel easier in the moment, but it creates a much bigger problem over time. So even if her intention wasn't malicious, the behavior is still damaging. And intention doesn't outweigh impact in relationships. It just doesn't. The impact here is that you now feel like you're in the dark, questioning what's real and trying to piece things together. That's not a small issue. That's the beginning of anxiety inside the relationship. And anxiety like that will eat you alive if it's not addressed. You'll start checking more, you'll start thinking more, analyzing more, and none of it will actually make you feel better, because the core issue isn't information, it's trust. And trust has already been cracked. So, what do you do with this? First, you stop debating whether what she deleted was technically harmless or not. That's a trap. Because even if you somehow prove that the content of those messages was innocent, the behavior of deleting them is not innocent. You focus on the behavior. You say, I'm not okay being in a relationship where things are being hidden from me. If something looks questionable, I'd rather deal with it directly than have it erased, or even have you decide if it's important or not. That's a boundary, okay? That is not an accusation. It's something that you're putting out there to keep yourself safe. Second, you make it clear that trust doesn't rebuild through reassurance. It rebuilds through transparency. Words like nothing is happening, it doesn't fix it. Access, openness, and consistency over time, that is what fixes this. That might mean having a period where things are more open than usual, where there's less privacy around communication while trust is being repaired. And I know people get uncomfortable hearing that. But here's the reality. Privacy and secrecy are not the same thing. Privacy is having your own space as an individual. Secrecy is actively hiding things that would affect your partner. Right now, she crossed into secrecy. So some level of increased transparency is reasonable. It's a reasonable part of repairing that. Now, here's where I'm going to challenge you a little bit, Eric, because this part matters just as much. You have to look at how you respond to discomfort. If you become controlling or accusatory, or if you start constantly checking, you will push this into a toxic loop where both of you are reinforcing each other's worst tendencies. Don't do it. She hides more because she feels scrutinized. You scrutinized more because she hides. That cycle will destroy the relationship faster than whatever the messages were. So your job is to stay grounded and direct. You don't chase clues. You don't play detective. You deal with what's right in front of you. I need honesty and transparency in order to feel secure in this relationship. If that's not something we can have, then this doesn't work for me. Now that's clean, that's clear, and it puts the responsibility back where it belongs. And then you watch. Not what she promises, not how convincing she sounds, but what she actually does over time. Does she become more open? Does she take ownership of how this affected you? Does she stop managing information and start sharing it freely? Or does she keep justifying, minimizing, and making this about your reaction instead of her behavior? Because the answer tells you everything. And here's the truth most people don't want to face. Trust is not something you can force yourself to feel. It's something that emerges when the environment is stable and honest. Right now, your environment is neither. So stop asking, how do I trust her? Start asking, is she behaving in a way that makes trust possible? Because those are two very different questions, and only one of them actually leads to clarity. If you have your own question, just like Eric, there's a description down below, and it'll give you instructions on how to submit it for me to answer. And if you found this helpful, make sure to like and subscribe.